Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, and this is Thursday Morning Live. Glad that you're here today. I love that little countdown. You know, it just gives me a few seconds to get my head right and to get in the game, and just look forward to this morning's show. So, how are you this morning? Listen, if this is your first time to the show, go tell somebody that you're watching this and get them here as well. Follow us on our YouTube channel at mycoreintentions.com. Subscribe to that, and you can see this anytime. There's a ton of content out there. And then if you follow us on social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you get your fix, you're going to find us on social media. I'm excited about being here. And you know, I always start my show with that key phrase, right? What's your intention? What's your intention for today? When you got up, when you got started this morning, what did you start to look at? What did you start to focus in on? Did you go to the health club? Did you work out? Did you spend some time in prayer, meditation? And how about gratitude? You know, we have to be grateful for the things in our life and what we have, right? A lot of times we can doubt or tell ourselves that story that we're lacking or we don't have enough, and really it's about us changing our story. It's about us being grateful for what today brings, what we have, and mostly what we can do for somebody else. So remember, today's show is brought to you by the Chicago Window Guy. That's going to be my guest here today. Russ Armstrong, longtime friend. Russ and I will have some laughs here this morning. I know we're going to talk about some mornings that we got an opportunity to work out together over the past years, and just spend some time together and really just kind of just get into his business and what he does. And let me show you a little bit right now about his business. So stand by.
I'm Russ Armstrong, the Chicago Window Guy. Here's what you won't get from those other big window companies you see on TV. Higher quality windows made right here in Chicago and a lifetime warranty. I offer the best product and installation along with a price match guarantee. Call now for a free quote and see our 5-star reviews online at ChicagoWindowGuys.com.
Don't overpay. Call us today. ChicagoWindowGuys.com.
Hey, you know what? I'm excited about that. Russ is a longtime friend, and to just see where his business has gone. And you know what we do on this show is we really try to focus on a Chicago local business, some entrepreneur, not necessarily real estate. You know, that's my background, and I love real estate. I love passive income and private equity, but you know, let me say this, that if you're a Chicago business owner, entrepreneur, somebody who would love to be on this podcast, this Thursday Morning Live, let me know. If you know somebody, nominate them and get them here. Let me bring Russ in real quick, though.
Hey, Mike.
Good morning. How you doing, Russ?
Great. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to see you again.
What's with the LA hat?
Hey, listen, if you know, I love LA. That's the direction I'm heading in. So soon as, I decide to move here, that's where we're going. So
okay.
Just supporting my dream. That's all, Russ. Kind of like you playing your commercial this morning, supporting your dream.
That's exciting. Thank you for playing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, listen, everybody's games, right?
I think you need one at this stage, Chicago fan.
So, hey, Russ, listen, one way I always start my show every week is I ask people what's that one word that best describes you personally and professionally in your life?
Oh, wow. Mike, I'd have to say that would be perseverance. Mm-hmm. You know, I think like a lot of people out there over the years, we've had to reinvent ourselves. You know, things happen in life. You think that everything's going great, and then who knows, something happens. Maybe it's, you lose a job, a pandemic, things happen, and you have to switch things up. And I've been able to do that. I've had to do that. And so I think just sticking with it, right? Sticking with it, moving on, and keeping a positive mental attitude. I've always known in my life that I could always go out, in sales, which I think is the greatest profession in the world. to go out and be successful. And I wish I would have known 40 years ago that you could, do as well as you can selling windows. But I've been doing it now, and it's been great. So I'm very fortunate, and life is good.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, boy, it's a big business. We'll get into that in a minute, but I love your word perseverance. I had somebody on a show yesterday that I do, and I asked her what her word was, and she said resilient. And I said, wow, that's funny. That's what's in my bio, And I think we have to be resilient, there's so many things that happen in people's lives, and the perseverance and the resilience are two things I think that keep you moving forward. But when you talk about things that happen in people's lives, like, addiction, whether it's alcohol or drugs or gambling, or you talk about past abuses, whether they're physical, emotional, sexual abuses, you have to be able to move forward from all those things. And I think that you're a guy, we've all stumbled in our lives, and you're a guy that your perseverance is inspiring, and I think other people can be inspired by that and should be inspired by that. Why don't you talk a little bit about your background, what you did before Windows, and how you got into the business?
Yeah. So Mike, I think I best would call it as a serial entrepreneur. I've done a lot of things in my life, and things have happened. Years ago, I had a successful payphone industry back when payphone, doing 0+ dialing, long distance, that got regulated out. I had a successful niche in a financial planning market. And that story's, for a whole nother podcast, but that got regulated out. And so I find myself in my 50s, looking to do something in sales. And I had never done home improvement, and the window, I kind of stumbled on the window industry, and it's been phenomenal. I love it. A lot of people ask me, I'm a one-man show, I am the sales guy. I'm the Chicago window guy. And so, I travel, I get in the car and I go from Zion, all the way down to Plainfield, everywhere. And a lot of people in my industry don't do that. They won't do that. They want to work in just in the North Shore, the South Side, or something like that. But I travel everywhere. And, that's what I have to do. That's what I do. And it's great. If I was maybe 20, 30 years younger, maybe I'd hire other sales reps, other people out there. But, when you do that, you lose the ability to have control over what's being said in the home. And then you've got to hire, one of the keys to my business and the reviews that I have is that I've got one crew, right? And it's a great crew. They work for me. I know exactly who's going to be in the house doing the job. And that's the key to my business right there. It's not me so much. I sell the jobs, but these guys go out and install them, and they do a fabulous job. If I grow and I get other salespeople, I've got to hire subcontracted labor. And now I lose that control. Now I'm like these other guys that you see on TV that have, they don't know who's going to be in the house doing the work. And so, you kind of lose that control. So I've kind of stayed where I am, doing it this way. And it's, who knew, Mike, that you could go out, sell windows, and, quite honestly, make a 7-figure income.
Yeah. Pretty interesting, and I've met some of your installers, and good guys, seem like quality individuals, quality craftsmen. I had a couple conversations with a couple of your crew leaders that I was impressed at their dedication to detail, to making your company look good. And I think that goes a long way when you build a good team around yourself, no matter what.
Yeah, they're very conscientious. They're very conscientious. They care. They're very hardworking, and they're successful, right? They're, I take good care of them. They get paid well, and if everybody's happy, that's the key to life, isn't it? I tell people that my son, the key, just be happy, being happy, however that is for you, whatever that means to you, as long as it is helping other people, is being happy. And so I want them to be happy. I tell my customers this. I honestly want them to be happy. It's not about just making a buck. I want to be able to put my head on my pillow each night knowing that we did a good job, we took care of them, lived by our word. And I think that transparency comes through in the sales process as well, and which is a key.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think you and I both live by integrity, and that's a key. That has to be a key word in our lives, and that we give people what they ask for, or what we promise that they're going to get. So that's awesome. Hey, one thing I want to say is that we've got a bunch of listeners out on LinkedIn and Facebook this morning, YouTube. Drop a comment in the chat. Let us know who's here. Let us know where you're from. If you've got a question for Russ, or you want to give him a poke the bear, go right ahead. We'll put your comment up, get that question answered for you. But love to hear where you're from. So chime in this morning. Hey,
now, Mike,
Russ,
you've already been up for like 6-7 hours, haven't you? I mean, you get up.
Now only four. So
you're ready to go. You're going to bed after this, right?
So, Russ, you and I built a habit a few years ago working out, and then we kind of lost touch, and I kept the habit.
I know
and
I've started up again, doing a little bit. I have to do more. One of the problems with the business I'm in is I'm in the car all day long, and I know there's excuses for everything, but I just had my 60th birthday, and
happy birthday.
One of the beautiful things about my business too is I work hard when I'm working, right? I work Saturdays, Sundays, but I take time off. I take time off and travel. We were just in Italy with my fiance Amy. We're very, very excited, and we had a great trip. So it's we get a chance to travel also, which is very important.
Yeah, nice. I know you've been to some other places lately too. Where else have you been?
Well, we're going to the Galapagos Islands in August, so we've got that planned. And I've been to I can't even remember everywhere I've been, but I've been all over. I'm a competitive curler. I think that. So that has allowed me to be able to travel, and I've curled everywhere in Europe and Iceland, everywhere. So that's been a lot of fun in life as well.
Yeah, you're in a club for that, right?
Correct. I'm in a local club. Yeah.
And how often do you guys compete, or do you go out to?
Well, I used to do a lot more. I've played in 3 world championships. In 2018, my senior team won the bronze medal at the world championships in Östersund, Sweden. And I don't play as much as I did, but still competing on the senior level.
Nice. And listen, where are the Galapagos Islands, Russ?
Ecuador.
Okay.
So it's off the coast of Ecuador. So you fly into Quito, and then from there you fly in, and we take a catamaran all over to the islands and see, the red-footed boobies, the birds, and all those, the animals and the turtles. And it'll be exciting. Looking forward to that.
So is that what the attraction there is to make it a destination? Is the animals, or?
Yeah, well, that's where Darwin, went and studied all the islands, the animals, and everything, and it became famous, and it's very exciting. I've been to Ecuador before, but never the Galapagos, so I'm excited to go out there.
Nice. Now I know you just went to a friend of ours' wedding.
I did.
Big shout out to Bubba for taking that leap in his life. Good for him. Congratulations to those guys. But one
Indian wedding, I've never seen anything like it. It was 3 days of nonstop parties, celebrations. Bubba rode in on a chariot.
Did he really?
He did.
I have this picture in my mind now. So
wait till you see the picture in your mind of everybody trying to hoist this guy up. You know how big Bubba is. Yeah. Hoisting him up was something. But it was a crazy weekend.
When you talk about chariot, I flash back to the movie Ben-Hur when I was a kid, and we went for a field trip to watch Ben-Hur from Catholic school.
Yeah, well, this isn't quite Ben-Hur. It's a little bigger than Ben-Hur. But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about window installation. What type of product do you sell? Is it vinyl, wood. Talk about your
Yeah,
product.
so we make a high-end vinyl window. I use a local manufacturer right here in Franklin Park, which is part of my sales thing. A lot of these companies that, and I'm not going to mention any names, but you guys see them. They're advertised on TV in Chicago all the time. These big companies that are basically marketing companies, right? They they hire anybody that can go out and breathe on a glass. They give them some training and they send them out to sell windows. And those windows could be shipped in from anywhere. What's nice is that my windows are made locally. So from a customer service standpoint, now I've got a lifetime warranty on all parts and labor. And so I include glass breakage in that. So, if you're cutting the lawn and a rock breaks a pane of glass, we have that changed out very quickly. And that's part of the sales process too, in my end, is that transparency. That listen, there's a lot of reasons people buy, right? People buy for a lot of reasons. They buy because of features and benefits. They obviously buy because of price. But there's one fact, and that fact is that if the customer does not trust you or like you, he's not buying from you. So credibility is key. And one of those key features are reviews. Reviews are so important. I mean, I can promise you that whenever you go out, no matter what you sell or what you do, somebody is going online, checking you out, checking your reviews. So that's so important to have good, positive reviews. And that's once again why it's so important to have the installers that I do, the follow-up that I do, the customer service that we do, because that's all a key. So all those things are so important. But obviously having a great product, and I'm very, very confident in the factory that's local. In fact, I tell customers if they want, I'll give them a tour of the factory and show them how we make the windows, which some people take me up on, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. And you make all sizes?
Custom made. We make everything custom made. So when I go into the home, I get a lead, and most of my leads now are referrals. Or they come from, I do a little bit of radio advertising on the Score radio. And I've done all those guys' windows. If you guys listen to the Score, Dan Bernstein, Hub Arkish from the Bears, I've done all their windows. So I get a lot of leads from that. I go out to the home. Once we get a sale, then we come out to measure the windows because they're all custom made. Then the order goes to the factory, and when they're produced, we come out and get it installed.
Yeah, nice. And so, Russ, I want to talk a little bit about, is your business affected? Like yesterday, the Feds raised the rate 0.75 of a point, right?
Yeah.
It's going to affect the real estate a little bit. Does it help or hurt your business when those types of things happen?
I'm not sure. I'll say this, a little bit of history. Everybody, COVID affected a lot of businesses in different ways, right? I mean, we had friends who had restaurants, and my heart broke, for people that were hurt by that business. The home improvement industry thrived. It was incredible. People were, they weren't traveling, they were home. They weren't out. They weren't spending money on taking trips. So they're sitting around their house looking at their windows going, oh, my God, look at these crappy windows. We got to do something about it. So my business was very, very successful during COVID. I think that a downturn in the economy may have an effect on some of these larger window companies that have a lot of mouths to feed. They've got a lot of salespeople that they have to provide leads for. For me, I just have to feed myself. I just have to keep enough, leads going to keep Russ Armstrong busy. And so I don't think I'm going to be too affected by it. But, time will tell. Right now, I can tell you I'm very, very busy. Life is very good. The one difference that, as I said before, if I were 20 years ago, I might have tried to build this up into something bigger. Right now, I like being the one-man show. I like having the control. I like people saying to me, and it happens all the time. It happened yesterday. Oh my God, I can't believe you're the guy that comes out. You answer your own phone. You're the guy that comes out and sees me. I mean, it's amazing, and people like that. They like that transparency. Now, where that might have a detriment down the road is what's my end game, right? I mean, it's easy when you're in real estate, you sell the building and bam, you're out. What do I do? Now, if I had a large company, that's an easier business to sell. It's hard to sell the Chicago window guy because if the Chicago window guy isn't there, there's not much of a business. So,
Yeah.
I'm looking ahead, Mike. You remember Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory and the golden ticket? Willie gave out a golden ticket to someone. I think I'm looking for that right individual. Man, maybe he's out there watching this show right now. Some young kid who can close. He's got to be a closer, right? If you can't close, you can't sell.
Yeah. Right.
But I think I might be looking for someone down the road to come in and learn the business and be able to take it over. And for the right person, they could be making a lot of money.
Yeah.
It'd be a great opportunity.
And, somebody could take it and want to grow it, scale it a little bit, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And obviously that's not in your point of interest right now, but,
Right.
if you're thinking about a succession plan, who knows what somebody might come up with. So somebody who's an entrepreneur, a sales guy, somebody who's a closer, like you said, and that's a skill in itself, closing, just asking for the sale. Let's
talk about that for a second, because that people hear the word closer and they think high pressure. And I love the customer that says to me, they bought from me because they did not feel pressured. Closing is it's a unique ability, and it's not for everybody. Closing, is the ability to know when to put pressure on and when to take pressure off, right? Mm-hmm. And the biggest problem that most salespeople have is they don't ask for the sale. They hear the words, I need to think about it, and they go, okay, and they pack their bags and they walk out the door. I don't do that. When I hear, first of all, throughout the sales process, hopefully I've done a good job. I've done a good job of doing a number of things, building that credibility, price conditioning, right? Going out through price conditioning means going through the sale, letting people know things like, wow, windows are really expensive. If you had Joe Blow window company out here, that window would cost you $2,000. Now, what am I doing there? I'm letting them know that, wow, windows are expensive. They're doing the math. They've got 20 windows. They know, oh my gosh, are you telling me it's going to cost? They're thinking it's going to cost me, $40,000, $50,000 to do my windows. And with some companies it will. But when I price condition like that, I know when I come down to laying off price, I'm going to be able to come down with my price, and they're going to realize they're getting value. They're getting a great deal. They're getting value. And all that makes closing much easier, right? The credibility of reviews. When I set up the appointment, I always ask, now, did you get a chance, Mr. Jones, to go online and check out my reviews online? I want him to do that. I want those reviews to do the heavy lifting. I want him to read all the good, positive things that are out there, and what we've done for other customers, because that makes closing much, much easier. Closing is not just waiting till the end of the sale and then hammering them to buy. It is a process. So when somebody says to me, Russ, I lay down the price, Mr. Jones, I can do this home for $20,000. It's a great price. Russ, we want to think about it. I understand. So I don't just walk out the door. I want you to think about it too. So maybe I have my sample. So I'm going to run this sample out to the car, and you guys think about it. I'll be back. Now, in their mind, we want to think about it overnight. I'm saying to them, I'm going to let you think about it. I'm giving you 5 minutes to think about it.
Yeah.
And that's called a porch light close. For you salespeople out there, you probably know the old days, the salesman used to say, I'm going to go stand on the porch. You flick the light, when you're ready for me to come back in. Well, I don't necessarily say that, but I'm going to go outside. You guys think about that's so I put pressure on by asking them to buy, right? Now I'm taking pressure off by letting them think about it.
Right.
Okay. I'm not leaving. I'm not walking out the door. I'm not going home, because if I do, the odds are I may not hear from them again. I may. But I'm a one-call closer. I want to close that sale today. I'm here to earn your business today. So right. I walk outside. I go to my car, maybe make a phone call, knock on the door, come back in. Mike, I got to tell you, that process of taking my foot off the pedal, going outside, coming back, I would say 50% of the time I get a sale by doing that. Now I might also say before I walk out the door, I might lay the price off at $21,000 and say, if I can earn your business today, I'm the only, Mr. Jones, I'm the only salesperson. If I can earn your business today, I'll do the job for 20 grand. I'll take $1,000 off, if I can earn your business today. But you think about it, but when I walk out, I want you to think of 4 things. Number 1, did you love the product that I demonstrated? Is this a product, price put aside, is this a product you'd like to see in your home? Number 2, the installation I talked about. Can you see how we're going to do a fantastic job installing these windows into your home that you can live with? You're never going to have to change these windows out again as long as you live. Number 3, did I do a good job? Did you trust me? Did you like what I had to say? And number 4, does the price fit the budget? If all those 4 things work, I want you to buy today. If not, if one of those things isn't true, I do not want you to buy these windows today. And then I walk out the door, and I come back in, knock on the door, and I said, well, where are we at? Any questions, anything I can answer for you? They're going to do one of 3 things. They're going to say, nah, you know what, Russ, we decided we like you. We like everything you had to say, but we're just not going to make a decision today. That happens 30-40% of the time. Or they might come back and say, can you do it for this? Can you do it for, if they say to me, can you do it for this price? I know I got them. I know it's sold. The deal's sold. Or they throw out their hand and say, yeah, let's move forward.
You ever give people a chance to say yes?
Yeah, they say yeah all the time.
Just kidding. Hey, I love that porch light close thing, because when I was in the real estate business, that was so. Russ, just so we're clear on it, what are the things that you need to think about? So when I'm leaving a sale, before I'm leaving a sale, I always do that too. I love the porch light close, like you talked about, right?
Right.
So just, Russ, before I go home tonight, what are the things you and your wife need to talk about before we, I was selling real estate, right? But before we list your house, right? Well, we need to think about this and this. I said, okay, I'll tell you what, I got a couple phone calls I need to make. I'm going to run to the car, make those phone calls. Why don't you guys talk about that right now? And I'll come back in, let's say 10 minutes. How's that?
Absolutely.
And it's a great close. It works a lot. So
I was at a conference. I don't know. I was at a trade show or something, and I was listening to some old sales guys saying, "I never get up and leave the table. I always want to be there. I don't want to let them talk to each other. I want to." No, that's high pressure. That's what turns people off. Right. You want to be able to, and if I feel like I'm using a little too much pressure, I might say something like, Mr. Jones, don't mistake my enthusiasm for pressure. That's a great line. Don't mistake my enthusiasm for pressure. You want people to know you're there to get the business. You're there to close the deal, but you're not pressuring them. And I'll say things like, whether you buy windows from me or not, I'm going to eat. You know what I mean? I'm going to eat just fine. So those are all things to kind of to use pressure without using pressure. And that's really what sales and closing is all about. And if you do that properly throughout the sales process, no matter what you're selling, you're going to make a lot of money.
Well, the other thing salespeople do is they get nervous with people when they have objections, right?
Correct.
I always look at objections as buying signals. Somebody's ready to buy, but they just need this last question answered. Correct.
And there's always going to be objections. So what you want to do in the sales process is you want to beat them to the punch, right? I call it isolating the price. You want to isolate those objections. You want to get rid of them. So, for example, when I'm demonstrating my window, I bring a sample window in the house. I go through the window and explain all the features and benefits. And there's difference between features. The feature of a window is it looks like this, it does this. The benefit is how does it affect you? For example, we use a neat glass on the window. It's a treatment on the glass. Well, that's the feature. The benefit, Mr. Jones, is that when water hits that window, the dirt comes right off. You rarely ever have to wash these windows. The benefit is that you don't have to wash these windows a lot. Those are benefits. So we don't want to sell features necessarily. We want to explain features, but we want to sell benefits, right? We want to, when I'm going through and I'm explaining this window and describing this window, at the end of it, I'm saying, it's a beautiful window, isn't it, Mr. Jones? Absolutely. Price put aside. If price was not a factor, is this a window you'd like to see in your home? And I want to, yes, it's a beautiful window. Great. What have I done there? I have isolated the objections. I have isolated the price. Now the only objection that I know I'm going to have is price. And I can handle that. We can handle that a number of ways, right? We can do the project in stages. I know if I sell a couple windows to Mr. Jones today, I do a beautiful job, he's going to come back. Mike, you don't know how many people I've got now in my career coming back to me. Hey, we bought a few windows from you last year. We're here to buy the rest of the house. You did such a good job, right?
Yeah.
That's keeping the pipeline going, right?
Awesome.
So isolating the price is a great way to handle those objections ahead of time.
That's cool. So everybody this morning, you got a little bit from the Chicago window guy about sales and how you can maybe sharpen your own sales skills. Because I know that there's everybody here who listens in is typically an entrepreneur, a salesperson, and somebody who, and I always tell people, Russ, we're always selling somebody on something. So even when people say I'm not a salesman, you're a salesman. You're selling your kids, you're selling your spouse, you're selling somebody on something.
Friend says to me, Amy, she says, don't sell me. I don't want to be so, honey, I'm not selling you. I adore you. I love you. I'm not selling you.
Yeah. So pretty fun stuff. But hey, Russ, so I always like to end my show with a couple of fun questions, get a little handle on what people think or what they like. You're from Chicago. We got a big event coming up in July this year, the GOB Multifamily Network conference that's going to be going on. It's a huge networking event. There'll be 500 to 600 people in the room over 2 days. We're going to talk about multifamily. We're going to talk about putting deals together and networking. So for people who are coming to Chicago, they're going to spend a few extra days. Let's talk about your favorite restaurant. Where would you send people for dinner?
Without a doubt, La Scrolla on Grand Avenue in Chicago. It was funny. I was recently in Italy, and one of the best thing about Italian food in Italy is you're eating it in Italy. But the La Scrolla rivals any restaurant that we ate at in Italy. It is the best.
Love La Scrolla. Matter of fact, Russ,
so
next
say
time,
hi to Armando. Armando is the owner's chef. He's fabulous.
Next time you go there, there used to be an article above the men's journal that talked about my dad. So
Really?
Next time you go there, see if it's still there. It's interesting.
I always think about you when I'm in the men's room. Don't worry.
Russ, this is live. Easy.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, typical Chicago guy, that's for sure. Hey, Russ, favorite tourist attraction that people should go see while they're here in Chicago?
Wrigley Field. Absolutely.
Okay.
Wrigley Field.
Okay. Why Wrigley Field?
Well, to me, it's, I've been going since I was a kid. Some fabulous, wonderful memories. Even if you're not necessarily a baseball fan, going into Wrigley Field is history, and it's just a great, and Wrigleyville all around Wrigley Field. The whole area is just fantastic. It's changed recently over the years, obviously, but still some great memories, and I would recommend it highly.
I lived in that neighborhood for years, and boy, has it changed. Here's one of my favorite memories of Wrigley Field. Steve Dahl and the Disco Demolition.
Yeah, that was Wrigley Field. That was Comiskey Park.
Oh, you're right. It was. You're right.
Way to go. Way to go. That's a guy with an LA hat giving you some baseball history.
It wasn't baseball, though.
Well, it was, because it was between a doubleheader at Comiskey Park, and Steve Dahl blew up all those Disco Demolition records.
10,000.
Ruined the field, and they had the White Sox had to forfeit the second game of the doubleheader.
That's right. That's funny. Oh, well, those were the days when rock and roll was rock and roll, Russ. Hey, speaking of rock and roll, you've been going out to Rosemont at all on Thursday night? They have some great rock and roll bands at Parkway Bank facility out. They have this big entertainment district there.
No, I'll have to check it out, but I'll tell you what I did do. I just got my tickets for The Who at the United Center in October. I'm very excited about that.
I saw The Who at the Sears Center years ago.
Really?
Small crowd. I think there was maybe 8,000 people there. It was so good. But
I would probably like that better, because obviously United Center is going to be a big crowd, but I'm still excited to see them. We saw the Stones on this last tour And they were great. I've got a couple of friends who say, why would you want to go see these 80-year-old guys? Because they're fabulous. Because
they're still great. Even how were they without Ronnie Watts?
No, you mean the drum, not Ronnie Watts.
Yeah. What was the drum?
Charlie.
Yeah.
It was great. Everybody missed him, I think, but the show was great. Mick Jagger's the show, and it was fabulous.
Yeah.
It was a great concert. Yeah. So a lot of fun stuff coming up.
No, I still think Keith Richards is one of the best guitar players ever, even in the midst of his craziness, So
I agree.
Russ, thanks for being here this morning. I'm gonna move you out, say goodbye to everybody, and hang out with me in the green room for a minute.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Always
tell people real quick how they can get a hold of you if they're looking for some windows or window replacements.
You can go online. You can check out my reviews. You can leave a note at chicagowindowguy.com or call me 847-302-9171. Would love to talk to you.
Perfect. Thanks for being here this morning, Russ. It's been a gas.
Thanks, Mike. Talk soon.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here this morning. That was Thursday Morning Live. We went a little long this morning, but that's okay. We had some fun, some couple laughs, and some good conversation. So remember, if you're in need of windows, give Russ a call at the Chicago Window Guy. Does a great job. I've heard nothing but great stuff, not only from some past clients, but from his installers too. His installers just really like him and love to work for him. So that really makes a good team when you're looking for that quality of product. If you know an entrepreneur or a business owner, somebody, a leader in the Chicago market that would love to be on this show, you want to nominate them, let me know, reach out. We're here every Thursday morning at 8:30 Central Time, and would love to just continue to bring some great value. Remember the GOB conference coming up July 13th and 14th here in Chicago. It'll be a great networking event. The goal is to do 40 deals in the room. So either come to the event with a deal to do or to be prepared to get on a team to help do a deal. So it's going to be a great event. Some great speakers, John Kasman and Brian Briscoe and, Ian Jurek, and I'm not even going to be able to mention everybody that's going to be on the platform, but I'll be speaking also. So it'll be a great event. Use my last name when you go to purchase tickets. You'll get a $100 discount, and I'll look forward to seeing you in July. Look forward to seeing you next week here on Thursday morning. Everybody have a great week.